Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Trevor. Very grateful to have you here. And today's video is going to be a top 10 list with 5 honorable mentions. These are all going to be casual grabs for the autumn season. So relatively affordable fragrances, generally under $50. So you can grab and go, spray without any hesitation. No concern over the price point. These are all really nice and easy to wear fragrances, whether they be soft, woody, a little bit of a hint of coffee, something warm and inviting while still maintaining some level of class. Just easy things to wear out to the grocery store if you have to run some errands for that, maybe catching up with a local sports game. These are all going to be fun and inviting fragrances for those sorts of occasions. So first off, I'm just going to share my scent of the day, which is not part of this list. It's a little bit out of the cheapy range, but I still feel like it is a great casual grab. This is Grimoire from Anatole Le Breton. Kind of like the pages of a book with a nice citrusy top going on. Got that really nice papery dry down, similar to Bentley for Men Absolute, with more of a citrus lean than a sandalwood kind of vibe going on. Have some coffee. And so the rest of these fragrances are all going to be under $50. That one is close to $100. Some of these are a little bit hard to find, so I've got the 5 honorable mentions. They're all discontinued and sort of drying up, but maybe worth checking out. First one in the honorable mentions category, this is September Morn from Biblios. This is a really nice kind of light, airy take on a vetiver, a little bit similar to Encre Noir, but not dark at all. This is very much bright, kind of like a yellow tone, more of a tannish hue though, something like a rustic farm gravel road, a little bit dusty, kind of dry grass. Very much articulating that September morning, the first inviting sort of golden hues gracing the landscape here at the very beginning of autumn. This is a really great little cheapy vetiver. Hard to find that one right now. I wouldn't pay more than $50 for a bottle as it wears rather intimately, but something I love relaxing with on those sort of casual autumn mornings. Next one, as you can see, I've got quite a little dent in here. This is Jafra Absolute Leather. So this one goes in and out of stock. This is kind of like a Avon sort of company, I want to say, in terms of cheap makeup sales fragrances, but as marketed more in the, I believe, Spanish-speaking countries. And this is an awesome introductory leather, really nice, sweet. It's got a little bit of a violet leaf kind of feel to it. I think that's not in the note breakdown, but something that's making up the leather accord in there. Really awesome stuff. As you can see, there was a big dent in there, and I have worn quite a bit of it. All opinions in this video are my own. All bottles in my collection I've bought with my own money, so just kind of giving you my experience here with these. The next one in the honorable mentions list, Stash from Sarah Jessica Parker. This one is dwindling up. It was recently discontinued, I think last year. You can still find it as a tester without the cap, so you would be ending up getting this bottle from the official discounters, Joma Shop, Fragrance Net, places like that, Fragrance X. Still have it without the cap for right around $30. I think that's a great price for a great fragrance. I believe it was marketed towards women, but it's easily wearable by men. It's got this really nice kind of old wood soaked in maple syrup kind of vibe with a slight nuttiness from a pistachio note and an otherwise very effervescent sort of sparkle going on. I don't know whether it almost feels like a sparkly resin, like a frankincense or something. I don't think that's what's in the official note breakdown, but it does have that sort of sparkly cola essence over the top of that maple wood and pistachio nutty vibe. Next one, this is something that was popping up at the rack stores for a little while, Ben Sherman's Icon. This is sort of like a fougere lavender take on something like a Festive Spice Costume National Homme or Chanel's Egoiste, not Platinum Egoiste, but just one of those soft cinnamon sandalwood style vibes. This one bringing that lavender tinge into that and making it a little bit more fougere-esque. Definitely something that was well worth the $12 it was going for at the rack stores. So if you see it out at the rack stores, definitely scoop this one up. It's a perfect little casual fall fragrance. It's got that clove, cinnamon, lavender combination going on, gentlemanly and festive. I've seen this going for like close to 60 on places like eBay and other reseller locations like that. I wouldn't pay more than 50 for this, but definitely just one I would say keep an eye out for at the rack stores is where you're going to be able to get the best deal on that one at, if it decides to keep showing up. Okay, the next one here, we've got Coffee and Whiskey from Bath and Body Works. This is one of my favorite little cheapy coffee fragrances, as you can see from the dent level here. It's sort of like a white Russian coffee and Kahlua, a little bit of a minty cream Irish froth over the top of a dry roasted coffee. It definitely has a little bit of a smoky tinge to the coffee going on in here. I believe this is officially discontinued by Bath and Body Works, but you can still find this at places like Amazon and eBay for under $30. I think this is a great pick for that price point, and one of my favorites to just kind of layer on in the morning when I'm having my coffee, just before the day is getting going, before I have my shower. Just nice and cozy, soothing, and with that nice creamy quality from the Kahlua Accord. Definitely something that if you know, you know. Beautiful little cheapie. And next we're going to be moving into the official list here. These are all going to be ones that are readily available at discounters, more or less. This one right here that we'll start the list off with is not at discounters, and I think is currently sold out. This is Leather Jardin from Zara. That's in a different bottle now, but it's a really nice citrus forward, floral mid, and beautiful dry cracked brown 60s style leather going on in the base. Definitely appeals to people that have a taste for the vintage flavor, but it is modernized in a way that I think is wearable by anybody. So it's definitely almost like unisex because of the floral component in the mid. It lists rose, but I get a lot more of like a combination of jasmine, general florals. It's got that sparkly citrus pop going on at the top. It lists grapefruit, but I get a little bit more of like a bergamot kind of feel. And there's definitely like a galbanum note, which is something that I've run into in places like Chanel 19 EDP and Creed Creed Royal Oud. This one kind of takes bits and pieces of those other fragrances and makes a very modern masterpiece leather. Definitely worth checking that one out. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite fall cheapies, point blank period. Right up there with like Toy Boy and Acre Noir à l'Extrême. Next one on this list, also not at the discounters. You can get it direct from a distributor. This is Original Musk from Heels. This is, again, a nice sort of floral component in the midst of a really nice soapy leather. But then there's also some animalic florals going on in here that give this slight funky quality. So it's a good combination of sort of animalic, skin feeling, sweaty, sort of like a pheromone sort of fragrance, I want to say. Smells like, you know, exerting oneself and perspiring, but on a clean set of skin, so you might be sweating just after a shower, something like that. The musks in here are very soapy and clean. The floral component adds a really beautiful, relaxing texture, which is why I like wearing this on casual days in the autumn season. And is just overall a really high quality cheapie. I saw that one going on sale for $40 just a couple days ago. Definitely worth checking that one out. Got turned on to that one by Kevin Samuels. Shout out and rest in peace to him. Next one, La Yucawam from Rasasi. This is a tester, so it came without a cap, but one of my favorite bottles for the autumn season. I think that little fall leaf there on the bottle does a really good job of just decorating my the inside of my house when this is like out in display. I think this is a really great fragrance overall. It's a clone of Tuscan leather, which is raspberry and leather, and it just wears super easily. It's fun. It's got a little bit of a youthful tone while remaining grown up and elegant because of that leathery vibe, and is pretty affordable. This one was a lot more hyped up a couple years ago and was getting into like the $60 price range, but you can readily find this for under $40 currently on the discounters. I think Aura Fragrance had the best price last time I checked. Next up, we have Dracar Intense, and this is a really nice, affordable little fougere fragrance. It's got a slight boozy tone, a caramel-style sweetness. Not like a caramel note, but it's definitely runs into that more ambery toned style sweet vibe going on with a very prominent aromatic sort of presence. There's a definite aromatic texture, I want to say. It's very I don't want to say like vegetal, but like it feels like you're out in a forest a little bit in the midst of a soft, warm, boozy accord. This is not a flanker to Dracar Noir. It's a flanker to the original Dracar, which has been discontinued for some time. So if you're familiar with Dracar Noir, don't go into this one thinking that you're going to get something all that similar, but still nonetheless a really nice modernized fougere that's rounded out very well with the soft, warm components that this one has to offer. This is probably one of my favorite grabs for just a casual, easy to wear, running an errand sort of vibe going on. Also, all of these have kind of mid-level performance, so like 5 to 6 hours if you wanted to reapply something for the evening while wearing these as casual wears for the daytime. Next one, we have a Versace Eros DNA Twist. This is Guess 1981 Los Angeles. And this is sort of like a tobacco twist on the Eros DNA. I feel like this goes a little bit less sharp, loud, and obnoxious than the Eros EDT. Is a little bit more youthful than the Eros Parfum though, so this is probably more like EDP level Eros with, again, that tobacco note. And there's also a plum note in here as well, and those two kind of come together to give the DNA a lot more of an autumnal feel. Definitely matches the juice color more than the traditional Eros while still remaining fresh, almost cold and aromatic in its presence. But I think the tobacco grows this up quite a bit, makes it great for sort of those casual events where you're going out to like a bar, maybe playing some billiards, meeting up for a local sports game. Definitely something you're outside doing, playing in the leaves, something of that nature. This one probably has the best capacity to sort of cut through the cold because it's got more of a thick, sweet presence than a lot of these other ones, which I think are going to be great for like sort of brunch or sunny days in the autumn season. Next one, another clone. This is Ministry of Oud Royal. This is a clone of Creed's Royal Oud, and this gets the scent profile pretty spot on for $30, 1/10 or less of the price of the original. The only difference between this and the original that I find is texture. So this is a lot more of a sort of linear, one-dimensional style fragrance that captures the scent profile of Royal Oud while not quite capturing the transitional quality from top, mid to dry down. Also lacks a little bit of like an aromatic presence and a green touch. And the lemon in here is a lot more candied and Skittle-like than natural, but nonetheless, this all comes together to be very classy, very elegant, nice, powdery, sweet wood, cedary sensation, and just something that I like having around to be able to spray more liberally than my Royal Oud, which is something that I generally try to conserve a little bit, although I've kind of been overcoming that sentiment just because of how large my collection is. It's still hard to burn through bottles, but I think Oud Royal from Ministry of Oud is an excellent, excellent clone of Creed's Royal Oud and perfect for casual wear in the autumn season. Next up, a classic, maybe more of a winter fragrance for some of you, but this is Burberry's London. It's got that nice fall sweater on there. This is tobacco, a little bit of a port wine accord, and cinnamon, so you get the full-blown festive spice sort of table spread Thanksgiving vibe going on in here. Definitely something that you would wear to those sorts of occasions, meeting up with family for a big dinner during this holiday season. It's just got a very festive tone to it, and I think prices on this one have been going up a little bit. I don't know if it's been discontinued. Don't pay more than $50 for this. It's got pretty poor longevity, but the scent profile is definitely something you should get your nose on. Would love to see somebody like maybe Parfum de Marly clone that fragrance and give it that nice beast mode aroma, chemical longevity, and projection. Next up, we've got Trussardi Riflesso, another one that has a pretty sizable little dent in there, almost halfway done with this bottle. And this is a light, airier take on La Nuit de l'Homme. So it freshens it up, gives it more of this watery feel from a prominent violet leaf note. There's no cardamom listed in here, but it definitely still captures that nice, soft, sweet, spicy sensation going on. There's a green apple note in here that gives it a little bit more of that autumnal festive feeling, but overall just captures that sweet La Nuit de l'Homme presence. It definitely is a lot more bright though, and this also has a little bit of a syrupy texture that I'm not that big of a fan of, but it's not too overwhelming to the point where I don't want to wear this. As you can see, I've worn it quite a bit, and that green apple really sells me on being an autumn fragrance for the most part, even though that's great for transitional weather, and definitely one of the more high quality, even though it's got that syrupy texture. Definitely something that has a really good degree of projection, longevity, and scent profile for the price. And then these next two here are a couple of my favorites. This one's probably the one that I've put the biggest dent in. This is 1920, the Origin Eau de Parfum. As you can see from the juice level there, I'm almost out of this one, and this fragrance is a nice middle ground between Cartier Declaration and Cartier Declaration Parfum, and this is an EDP, and I think it straddles those two fragrances very well. I think this is a little bit more casual wear than Cartier Parfum, which is a little bit enveloping and dominating with the cardamom. This one kind of softens it down a bit. They all share a cumin note, so it's probably going to be something that, if you're not down with cumin, avoid this one. But another thing that I really like about this, as opposed to the other Cartiers, is that I believe there's some ambroxan in here. So it gives it this little bit of like a staticky wool-like push off of the skin, and makes it a little bit more designerish, a little bit more approachable, and the only one of the three that I've ever gotten complimented on. And this is a steal of a deal in terms of quality to price. You can get these for like $30, testers sometimes for even less. Definitely one I'll be replacing when I run out here. So that's 1920, the Origin Eau de Parfum. Slight boozy accord in here as well, although not listed in the notes. Definitely kind of matches this flask style bottle. And then finally, ending off the list, we've got a classic Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Toilette. Another one I've kind of gone through half the bottle on. Really nice sweet amber tobacco ginger combination. Definitely get your nose on this one if you haven't. This is a tried and true legendary DNA. I kind of prefer this Eau de Toilette over the Eau de Parfum, both for the price point reasons. You can usually find testers of this 100 ml Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Toilette for like $30 to $40, and they do come with caps. At least that was the case with mine. But tried and true legendary DNA, worth getting your nose on. This one projects a little bit better for me than the Parfum, even though the Parfum smells a little bit better. This one I think is better for daily wear, casual driver, sort of. The other one's more of like date night, more of a sensual, deep scent profile. This one wears light, nice, easy, and pops off my skin a little bit better in the heat. So those were my top 10 casual fall fragrances with 5 honorable mentions. Let me know what some of the fragrances in this category you'll be wearing in the comment section down below. And as always, I really appreciate you sticking with me to the end of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.